Hello everyone, today I'm just taking a little time out from organising a surprise party. I have to get a crafting fix and I've got a very cool faux quilting technique for you. I'm using this Fiskars hexagon punch, but if you don't have one, don't panic. It looks awesome in squares as well, so stick around.
Here are the ingredients I'm working with today. I have 4 sheets of pattern paper. They're all coordinated. They're from the same paper book. I actually picked this one up at Aldi when they occasionally have them in there. A good buy. I've got a white card base, just a piece of A5 cardstock folded in half. I've got black soot distress ink, my distress ink tool with a foam pad. I've got this Fiskars hexagon punch that I'm going to cut actually 2 hexagons from each sheet of paper, and I'm working on my craft sheet today so that I can ink without making too much of a mess. Here we go. So here we've got the hexagons that I've punched out. I've got 8 different hexagons here, and what gives this the real quilted effect is, I don't know if any of you quilt, but if you do, you've probably seen when you stitch in between you get that shadow where the fabric kind of puffs up. So the way that we make this look shadowy is actually to very softly ink up each edge of these hexagons with this black soot distress ink. When we put these two side to side, you can see the difference. You can see that this one that's been inked up has more of a dimension. It's more raised in the center, whereas the other one is more flat and it doesn't have that quilted look. So let's continue on. I'll do all of the hexagons and then we'll put it all together. And here we have it. All of the hexagons are inked around the outside. I will have to come in and do a bit more inking because I'm going to cut some of these down to be fillers on the edges. So let's put it all together. The first thing to do is start laying them out so that you have your hexagons, you know, a rough guide about where you want them to be. You're going to want to kind of separate your colours a little bit. You don't necessarily want, you know, 2 identical ones next to each other. So I've started with here and then I'll spread out from there. So this one can go up here. We'll add this one here, and you can see we've got some gaps that we can fill in. So this one will do half up here and half down there. So I'll trim these off in half and then we'll keep on going. Now that they're all stuck down, it's just a matter of using some of these cut-offs to fill in the spaces. So I'm going to fill those in, and then we can actually trim again. Normally I'm not a fan of cutting with scissors, but when it's along the straight edge of a card, it's actually not too bad. You can keep a pretty straight edge. I think I might be pushing it to fit this one in here. Yes, definitely pushing it. If we want to fill in these other edges here, I'm just going to cut a couple more hexagons and fill in the space. So I ended up cutting an extra hexagon from every sheet of paper. So to make this, I've cut 3 out of 4 sheets of pattern paper, and it's covered the entire card base. I think it looks really good. Now you could take this a step further. You could draw on some faux stitching, or you could actually take this to your sewing machine and stitch it. If you're going to do that, I'd recommend doing this effect on one piece of cardstock first and then adhering it to the front. Otherwise, when you open up your card, you're going to see all the stitching there. Unless, of course, you want that feature, in which case, go right ahead. That would look fantastic. Now all we have to do to this card is add a greeting and it's done. Thankfully, when I bought this set, it came with a whole bunch of stickers in the front, so I've just chosen one of those to put on there. It's a fantastic card, and as far as post goes, this is flat, 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 okay? It's perfect if you are going to join one of our swaps to do something flat, because you're going to pay a lot less in post because it weighs less and it's got a lot less bulk in it. I hope you enjoyed this. Remember, if you don't have a hexagon punch, you can of course use a square, because quilters use a lot of squares. I know I do when I'm quilting. All the squares, I can't tell you how many squares I've cut in my life. But squares look equally as good. If you're looking for a hexagon punch, this was the largest size from Fiskars. I love this punch because it's got this easy squeeze and you can see exactly where you're placing it when you put your papers under. I hope to bring you more hexagon projects and more cool little techniques. And if you're not a card maker, hey, why not use this technique on a scrapbooking page? So go get out your inks, ink up the edges and give a little faux quilting a go. Happy crafting, everyone.